Welcome to the Checkout WIz app. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can set up your branding customization for your checkout. So the first thing you have to do while setting up branding customization is ensure that you're working on a duplicate profile rather than the live one to make sure that the testing goes correctly. So for that, what you have to do is duplicate this default profile, and then you can rename this duplicated one to whatever you want. Currently, I've just renamed it to branding customization. And then clicking on preview, you will see the duplicated profile right here. Any changes you make in the app, you can just come here, refresh, and see what it impacts on the look and feel of your checkout. So to start with the branding customization in our app, what you have to do is click on configure in branding. Ensure that the checkout profile selected is the one that you want to have this branding applied to, and then we can get started. So we have three different sections over here, and we have to start with the branding section. So in the branding section, what we do is set a bunch of colors according to our theme that we can apply to the different sections of our checkout. So the different sections are mentioned here, and I'll quickly go through what each of these sections mean. Canvas essentially means the background and the foreground color of the loading screen. The background color is the background of the loading screen, and the foreground is the color of the spinner. Color 1 refers to everything that is in the form side of the checkout. So the form side is this section of the checkout where the customer has to input something. And the background essentially is the background of that section, and the foreground is the color of the text that goes in that section. Color 2 concerns the summary of the order where the customer sees what is in their cart. And again, background is the background and foreground is the color on the text that they have over here. Primary is the color of the buttons the customer will be clicking on to proceed from one section to the other. So that we are talking about this particular button here, and moving forward, even in the shipping, all the buttons that come up over here, that is the color we mean by saying primary. Interactive elements basically are the colors of links and other interactive components. So these are certain links that the customer can click on to move to one section to another, and also certain interactive components like the fill color over here. All of these will be changed by changing the colors in the interactive section. And critical is in case of there are any error messages that the customer would see at checkout, the background and the foreground of that section can be changed from here. So to see how this works, we can just put in some hex codes in this section right here. And I just have a color palette from here that I'm just going to copy. Just ensure that you have a hashtag in before of the hex code, so that's how the hex codes work. And I can just copy some colors for this section here as well. And you can just hit save. So once it's saved successfully, you can just come back to your profile, the preview of your profile, refresh it and see what that changes does to your store. And so this is currently what we've changed the colors to. Obviously, you can change the color according to your theme, however you want it. And this is essentially how to change the colors. We have more customization options within the customization section. But before we do that, there's also one setting over here that we have to look at, which is the corner radius. We have three settings for the corner radius, and you can apply the settings to different sections of your checkout, like the form itself, the button radius, or the radius of your merchandise thumbnail. And you have like three options to set them. You can have a base section, which is somewhere up here. You can have a small, which is lesser than that, and a larger, which is greater than that. And once you set these, you can apply these base, small, and large values to different sections in the customization section. So that's what we have to do in the corner radius right here. Then we have the customization section, which is where the bulk of the customization happens. We have different sections which you can customize, like the form, the text field, the buttons, the header banner, merchandise thumbnail, all of that you can customize one by one over here. In the form controls, we have option to give a border or no border. We have the option to select one of the corner radiuses that we had set in the branding section. So for now, I'm just going to put large. We can choose which color we want our form to be. So currently you can see that the form right here has taken the background of this color. But if I want, I can have it transparent, or I can have it the background of color 1. So I'm just going to change it to transparent. And I also have a section to choose where my label position is going to be. Right now, you can see that my label is outside my form. I can just choose that to be inside. I'm going to save that and see what changes that does over here. So you can see that the labels have come inside. It has also gotten rounded edges now. And since the border color is same as the background, you're currently not seeing any border here, but once you select, you can see the border over there. And similarly, we have option for the corner radius of the checkbox. I can just change this to large. And this can be completely circle instead of a square if you wanted to. That's the change that happens there. The selected field, whether I want to give a full border or a block and border over here, that's like for every selected field that I can select, I can change the type of border that it applies and the border on my text field as well. I can select what happens there. Secondly, I have my header banner. So the header banner is the store name essentially, and how I want my store name to be viewed. I can put an image directly. Currently, you can see it's a text, but if I want an image to go there, I can put an image and I can apply that image to the entire screen, which is by using full width. By using checkout form, the banner will be only applied to the form section of the screen, and by using order summary, it will only be applied to order summary of the screen. I can change the alignment of that banner as well from left, center to right. Just going to change this to center. And if I do choose an image, I can set a width for that image. And depending on the image, the spacing between the top on that section will increase. So if I were to do this right now and refresh the screen, Surya Checkout branding is replaced by my logo. And depending on the size I had put as the width, it will take that much and push the rest of it down. After the header banner, we also have the merchandise thumbnail. So here we can change the corner radius. Like I said, we can make it, instead of a square product, we can have a circular product as well, depending on the corner radius that you have set on branding and how you want the border to be shown, whether you don't want a border to be shown or you do want a border to be shown. And similarly, we also have the button section where you can change the background. Like you can have it as a solid background, or you can just have a border button, and also the spacing of the button. So right now you can see this is the default spacing of the button that we have. But if I want to change that to make it smaller, I can make the padding extra tight. So block padding is the spacing between the top and bottom of the text for the button. And inline padding is the spacing between the sides of the text. So I can make this extra tight and this one extra loose. I can change my corner radius if I want to. But now you can see like it has come down to a different style right now. And finally, we have the typography section. So here you are allowed to change the primary and secondary text. The primary text is all the headings that you see over here. These are all primary texts. And secondary text is the text of these elements that you see over here, which are not headings. Everything that is not a heading is a secondary text. And you can change, if you want, the weight, which is essentially the boldness of the text to be changed. You can change it by giving different numbers over here, usually increments of 100. You can change the font. We have a bunch of fonts over here, but if you have a custom font, you can also upload a custom font by clicking up a custom font and uploading the font over here. We need this file types for Shopify to recognize the font, but essentially you can change it to any font that you want, and you can just give a base weight of 500. And when it's bold, I'll give a base weight of 900 and you save. Here you can see that the fonts have changed. So this is essentially all the features that we currently have in the checkout branding section. This is basically how much Shopify has launched. And as Shopify launches more, we'll also be launching more features within the section. Hope this helps. Thank you.